This is the design we want to work on in this tutorial, and as you can see, the pleats design, it has no stitches at all, and this is what our result is going to look like. You can see this is actually before doing the closing ironing. All I have to do now is to give it a good ironing and make sure it is as relaxed as possible. Before we get into the video, make sure you smash the like button. Welcome back to the sewing workshop, a place where billion-dollar brand come to get inspired. And if you're yet to subscribe to this channel, you're missing a lot. So the very first thing you're going to do now is to calculate our length, the length in which you're going to cut the pleats. So now let's say your outfit net, the length of your outfit is 40 inches, right? Let's say the length of your outfit is 40 inches. Now, in order to cut the length for the pleat, it's going to be a total of 40 in two places. That will be a total of 80 inches. Because whatsoever you pleat at the top is what you're going to pleat at the bottom, which is going to be the same pleating. If you're pleating 2, that means you're pleating 4. Do you understand? So if you're cutting your length, you're going to be cutting a total of 80 inches. That is if your length is 40 inches. If your length is 20 inches, you'll be cutting 40 inches. I hope you guys understand. So now to calculate the wideness of the pleat itself, depending, you can go for as wide as you want, but on this one, we'll be working with a wideness of 5 inches. So I want you guys to pay attention here. 5 inches, right? So I'm going to mark 5 inches at this place. And the design itself does not have any stitch. We are not going to stitch it at all. So you have to pay attention and make sure you smash the like button. So we are marking 5 inches here, right? So for the folding at the for the folding allowance, it's not a sewing allowance. The folding allowance, which is going to be 2.5 inches at each side, which is going to be a total of 5 inches. The total is going to be 10 inches, as you can see. 10 inches, which is going to be folding under the design itself. So I just want you guys to pay attention to this so that you can understand what I'm doing. I'm going to mark the 10 inches all around and I'm going to cut it all straight so you can see what I'll be having. This is the 10 inches in total. You can see. Let me measure this and you guys can see here. This is the 10 inches. You can see this, and I cut it exactly the length in which I want to work with. So I'll be using a fusing. It's a light fusing. It's a light cloth fusing, as you can see, and I'll be cutting exactly the same wideness of my design, the same wideness of my pleat, which is 5 inches. Don't forget that. I'll be cutting the 5 inches on the interfacing, on the fusing. Either fusing or interfacing, they are the same thing. So I'm just going to cut out 5 inches here. Make sure it is straight. Now just tear it down straight. You can see that. So this is 5 inches. You can see that. So I'll be placing the 5 inches at the center part of the fabric. At the center of the fabric. Make sure you're working with the wrong side of the fabric. You're going to apply the fusing on the wrong side of the fabric. So I'll be placing it at the center part. Remember, we cut 10 inches in total for the wideness, right? So each side of the fabric, each side of the fusing itself has to be at 2.5 inches. You can see that 2.5 inches from each side so that we can fold it over the fusing, over the interfacing, right? You can see that. So that's what you're going to do. So all you have to do now is to make sure the interfacing is at the center of the fabric, and I'm going to iron it and make sure it is smooth. So this is what I'm going to have after ironing it, and I gum the interfacing to the fabric. You can see it is 5 inches and each side is going to be 2.5. So the next thing I'm going to do now is to fold the fabric over the interfacing and make sure the edge of the fabric is as sharp as possible, because that is very important. You can see that. So just fold it. I'm going to fold the side. The reason why we are not going to stitch this is because if you stitch that part, the front is going to be obvious. The stitches is going to be showing in the front. Like there will be one nonsense line in that front area. That's why you don't have to stitch it. Just follow this step by step. You're going to see what I'm going to be doing. So just iron it and do it all around and each side. Make sure you fold them over. You can see what we're having. So you're going to do this same as, make sure that edge is sharp. That's very important. You're going to do it all on both sides. And make sure each of the sides are sharp and smooth. That's very important. These are some of the styles that we've worked on our private class. In case you are interested, I'll put a link in the description below. We have finished working with this safari suit. If you want to learn how to cut and sew this, I'll put a link in the description below. And also this senator with a suit lapel, we already finished this, and also a wrap top. In case you are interested, there will be a link to our Telegram group. So this is what we are going to be having. You can see this. You can see this right here. So that's after folding. You can see what it looks like. So all you have to do now is very simple. You can see, if assuming we stitch that part, there will be one line at the center part that won't be straight, that will be showing on the front. That's why you don't have to stitch that back. You have to just leave it like that. So pay attention. What we're going to be doing now is to simply apply an hemi gum at this edge. Just watch this closely. I'm going to open this and I'm going to apply the hemi gum at the main edge of the fabric. Make sure you reach the tip of the fabric itself. You can see, make sure it's reached the tip of the fabric, and I'm going to fold it over and simply iron it. You can see that. I'm just going to cut that out. So when you look, you can see what we're having. And also at this edge also, you're going to put an hemi gum so that the edge also is going to be holding down. That's very important. You can see that too. You can see. So let me iron it and show you what I'm doing. You can see here. So this is what that side is going to look like. You can see what our front will look like, how smooth that front is. So you're going to do the same thing on both sides, and you're going to do it all the way down. I just cut that part out because I wanted to show you how to do it. You're going to put it all the way down on both sides, and make sure you gum that entire back fully. So make sure you gum them entirely all the way down, straight down. And after gumming in, this is what you're going to have. You see how smooth that is. You can see how smooth those edges are. So this is what our front panel is going to look like. This is exactly the result we want. And you can see that there's no line in the front at all. But you can see this place that I joined two fusing at the back. You can see just a tiny line. Now imagine if I stitch that back panel. The line is going to be messing up how smooth the design is supposed to be. So this is what we're trying to achieve. And the next thing I'm going to do now, it will be on my bodice right here on my fabric. You can see this is my main bodice. You can see I'm just going to open it up just like this. Open it up. You can see. So at that neck area, I believe you already cut out your bodice. At that neck area, I'll be placing this at my neck area. You can see. Make sure it overlap your neck just a little bit so that you can have a cuff for your neck round, like the roundness of your neck. So just place it and make sure that place is accurate. So I'm going to simply pin that edge. So I'll be able to turn it backward and cut out. So first and foremost, I'm going to get my center part. That's very important. I'll fold the fabric into two. Get my center point. Make sure you are at the line, at the main center part of the main bodice itself. You can see that. And I'm going to simply pin this. I'll pin that place right there. You can see. After pinning it, I will simply fold it. I will take it backward. So I'll be able to cut my neck hole on that fabric. You can see. I'll simply cut that neck out. You can see that. Just make sure your cutting is straight and you're getting exactly the same line on the neck hole. You can see that. You can see that, and simply place this just like this. You can see what we're having in the front. That's how it's supposed to be. You can see how smooth that neck is. Make sure the cutting is as straight as possible. You can see that. So the next thing we're going to do now is to start our pleat in the front. So whatsoever you pleat is exactly the same thing you'll be pleating all down. And you can use your measurement tape to do that. So after pleating the first one, you're going to stitch it, then pleat the other one. But first and foremost, I will use my iron to hold each of my pleats down so that we know what I will be stitching. You can see what I'm doing. I'm going to simply do that. I'll iron it down, make sure I have gaiters at each of the edge. And I'm going to simply do it one after the other. You can see that. Let me just get a holder so that I can iron that edge very well. You can see. Just iron the first one. And I'm going to hold it down. You can see what I'm doing. If you're enjoying this video so far, make sure you smash that like button. It is very, very important for the YouTube algorithm. And if you're yet to subscribe to the channel, make sure you subscribe and turn on the bell notification to get notified when I upload newer videos. You can see that. So after folding it backward just like that, you're going to do the same thing. You can see they are of the same size, right? Make sure they are very aligned. That's very important. And I'm simply going to iron that one also. Iron it down. You can see that. And I'll take another pleat. Make sure what you're doing is straight and you're holding each of the fabric down very well. We're going to be stitching it from inside, and we're going to keep pleating it all the way to the down part and stitching it from the inside. Stitching it from the inside. We're going to fold this one also and stitch it from the inside. So on this one, we'll be stitching nothing less than 20 to 15 pleats in the front. So I won't be able to like do all of the pleats in the front. So let me just take this to the sewing machine and stitch each of the down parts, and I'm going to show you guys what the total result is going to be. So let me go and do that, and don't forget to smash that like button. Why have you not do that since? So this is what it's going to look like. You can see I already stitched the neck round, then I simply pleat the front step by step. You can see what we are having. So it's at the center part of the neck itself. And if you look at the down part, you can see that I have a stitch there. You can see there's a stitch. That is the stitch holding down the design itself all the way to the hem area. So that's about doing this pleat design step by step. If you love the video, make sure you smash the like button and make sure you turn on the bell notification to the channel so that you get notified when I upload newer video. And that's about it. I'll see you on another video. Peace, and do have a lovely day.